The world's first lesson in compound growth wasn't discovered by bankers. It was discovered by hungry Stone Age farmers deciding whether to eat their last seeds or plant them. Imagine you're standing in a Stone Age village 10,000 years ago. You have two choices: eat every grain you've harvested today, or bury a small handful in the ground. One gives you dinner. The other quietly creates a future. That tiny decision became one of the greatest wealth lessons in human history. Long before banks, long before the stock market, long before Warren Buffett, Stone Age farmers discovered the same invisible force that creates millionaires today. It's called compound growth. And if you ignore it, you're repeating the biggest financial mistake humans have made for thousands of years. Chapter 1. The day humans stopped chasing food. For over 95% of human history, people didn't farm. They hunted animals, gathered berries, collected roots, survived one day at a time. Every sunrise reset the game. If you caught a deer today, everyone ate. If tomorrow's hunt failed, everyone went hungry. There was almost no way to accumulate wealth. No savings, no investments, no passive income. Everything depended on today's effort. Economists call this linear survival. Effort equals reward. No effort, no reward. But around 10,000 years ago, something extraordinary happened. Humans noticed a strange pattern. Seeds dropped near campsites began growing into new plants. At first, it seemed like magic. Later, they realized something revolutionary. One seed could become hundreds. Those hundreds could become thousands. For the first time in history, today's sacrifice produced tomorrow's abundance. This wasn't just farming. It was the birth of delayed gratification. Instead of consuming everything immediately, farmers intentionally held back part of their harvest. Imagine harvesting 100 grains. The hungry brain says, eat all 100. But the farmer says, I'll eat only 90. The remaining 10 aren't food. They're my future. That decision changed civilization forever. Villages became permanent. Food storage appeared. Trade expanded. Population exploded. Cities emerged. And underneath it all was one simple principle. Never consume everything you produce. Always reserve something that can grow. Most people think agriculture created civilization. That's only half the story. Agriculture created the first compounding system. Chapter 2. The secret hidden inside every seed. Let's think about a single grain of wheat. By itself, it looks almost worthless. Tiny, dry, easy to ignore. Yet inside that tiny seed exists an incredible machine. Plant one seed. Months later, it may produce dozens of new grains. Plant those dozens, now you have hundreds. Plant those hundreds, soon you have thousands. Notice something interesting. Growth isn't additive. It's multiplicative. Each generation creates the next generation. The harvest starts working for itself. This is exactly how compound interest works. When you invest money, your money earns returns. Later, those returns also begin earning returns. Eventually, your gains create new gains. Albert Einstein is often quoted as calling compound interest the eighth wonder of the world. Whether he actually said it or not, the principle remains true. Stone Age farmers didn't know mathematics. They didn't know percentages, but they understood multiplication. Every planting season reinforced the lesson. Small beginnings become enormous outcomes when growth is allowed to repeat. Nature has always preferred compounding over speed. Trees don't become forests overnight. They reproduce. Rivers don't become mighty in a day. They gather countless streams. Mountains slowly rise through millions of tiny changes. Compound growth isn't a financial invention. It's nature's favorite strategy. Humans simply borrowed it. Unfortunately, our brains evolved for immediate survival. We love instant rewards. That's why most people eat the seed instead of planting it. In finance, that means spending every paycheck, avoiding investments, waiting until later. Stone Age farmers knew later was created by what they planted today. Chapter 3. Why most humans failed the farmer's test. Imagine facing a brutal winter. Food is running low. Children are hungry. Your grain storage is shrinking. Then someone suggests, we should save some seeds for spring. The idea sounds ridiculous. Why save food when you're starving? Yet that's exactly what successful farmers did. They resisted short-term comfort for long-term survival. This became humanity's first investment decision. The temptation never disappeared. Every generation faced it. Eat now or multiply later. Modern life presents the same test every day.
A salary arrives. One option? Upgrade the phone. Buy expensive clothes. Spend everything. The other option? Invest a portion. Plant financial seeds. The difference seems tiny today, but enormous decades later. Behavioral economists call this present bias. We naturally overvalue immediate pleasure and undervalue future rewards. Stone Age farmers fought the exact same psychological battle. The most successful villages weren't necessarily the strongest. They were the most disciplined. Discipline created abundance. Abundance created stability. Stability created civilization. Financial success follows the same chain. Income creates opportunity. Investing creates assets. Assets create income. Income buys freedom. The cycle keeps reinforcing itself, just like harvest after harvest.
Chapter 4. The seasons that investors forget. Farmers understood something investors often forget. Nothing grows every day. After planting, nothing appears. Days pass, still nothing. Weeks pass, still waiting. Does that mean the seed failed? Of course not. Growth is happening underground. Roots form before leaves. Patience isn't optional. It's required. Imagine digging up your seed every morning to check if it's growing. You'd destroy it. Many investors make the same mistake. Markets fall. Panic begins. People sell too early. They interrupt the compounding process. Stone Age farmers couldn't harvest the day after planting. Neither can investors. Every season has a purpose. Spring is planting. Summer is nurturing. Autumn is harvesting. Winter is preparing. Finance follows similar seasons. Learning, saving, investing, compounding, harvesting. The greatest fortunes aren't built during excitement. They're built during patience. Compounding rewards consistency far more than intelligence. A mediocre investment held for decades often beats brilliant investing interrupted by fear. The Stone Age farmer knew this instinctively. Nature doesn't rush, neither should wealth. Chapter 5. From wheat fields to wealth. Today, our seeds rarely look like seeds. They look like investments, retirement accounts, index funds, businesses, skills, books, education, healthy habits. Each one is a modern seed. Reading one page every day compounds into knowledge. Saving a little every month compounds into wealth. Exercising consistently compounds into health. Relationships strengthen through repeated attention. Everything valuable compounds. Likewise, neglect compounds too. Debt compounds. Bad habits compound. Stress compounds. Missed opportunities compound. The direction matters more than the speed. Stone Age farmers understood systems. They focused less on today's harvest and more on next year's harvest. Modern finance teaches the same lesson. Don't ask, how much money can I make today? Ask, how many financial seeds am I planting this month? The second question changes your future. Small, repeated actions always outperform dramatic bursts followed by inactivity. Nature proves it every season.
Chapter 6. The greatest investment lesson ever planted. When archaeologists uncover ancient farming villages, they don't just find tools, they find evidence of a revolutionary mindset. Humans finally learned to think beyond today. That mental shift created everything that followed. Cities, trade, science, industry, technology, modern wealth. All because someone looked at a handful of grain and chose not to eat it. Instead, they planted possibility. Today, your financial life asks the same question. Every paycheck, every decision, every purchase. Will you consume every seed, or will you plant part of it? The answer won't transform your life tomorrow. It probably won't change next month either.
But give it years, then decades, and suddenly people will call your success luck. It won't be luck. It will be the harvest of thousands of invisible decisions. Stone Age farmers never had calculators. They never tracked annual returns. They never heard the phrase compound growth. Yet they mastered its essence. Plant, wait, protect, repeat. That's how forests grow. That's how civilizations grow. That's how wealth grows. The greatest financial strategy in history wasn't invented on Wall Street. It began in a quiet Stone Age field, with one farmer choosing tomorrow over today. If this story changed the way you think about money, remember this. Every fortune begins as a single seed, that someone refused to consume. If you enjoyed this journey into history's hidden financial lessons, subscribe for more stories where ancient civilizations reveal timeless wealth principles. Because sometimes, the oldest ideas create the richest futures.